We've all probably heard the story of Bobby Tables. You know, this Bobby, the one whose mom named him with a special little string for a middle name, little drop table students, as mom so affectionately calls him, Bobby Tables. Classic, absolute classic. The joke here, in case you missed it, is since schools and other resources are going to take your son's name and put it into their database, if they're not properly sanitizing the inputs to their database queries, you can inject something like a drop table command, which is really bad. You can use this to destroy things. In this case, they lost the student records for that year. It's a joke, it's XKCD, but you get the point. By having this slightly entertaining name where you have in Robert's name, you end string, then drop table students, it's clear what your goal here was. It's to try and break services and systems that are trying to input their name. What if instead of this being something as permanent as a person's name, there's something a little less permanent, like a company's name? Well, it turns out that happened. Company forced a change name that could be used to hack websites. Oh boy, the web had a Bobby Tables, and I can't wait to go into it. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor. AI's made a lot of things easier for devs, but it's made one significantly harder: getting data. When I was a kid and first learning to code, I was able to just hit the Twitter APIs or the Reddit APIs and get access to whatever I wanted. That is not the case anymore. It's basically impossible to go past one URL before you hit something like a CAPTCHA, making it impossible to get the data that you're trying to get. That's why today's sponsor, Bright Data, makes life so much easier. You can kind of think of Bright Data as the ultimate solution to your data problems. If you want to scrape the web for your AI or any other tools that you're building, if you're trying to get info on what listings for a product exists on Amazon and how much money is being spent on them, if you're just trying to figure out something on the web, there's a very good chance Bright Data can get it for you. If you've tried to scrape the web before, you'll immediately understand how valuable this is. But if you haven't yet dove in, let me just tell you, all of these things that they do are so obnoxious to set up yourself. From proxying to all sorts of different types of connections, because a lot of the sites you're scraping are going to automatically block AWS and any office's IP addresses. Now you can just proxy to residential addresses and not worry about it. You're trying to get around something that's blocked, be it something annoyingly blocked with a paywall or an ad blocker, or just something that has a CAPTCHA in front of it. They'll solve all of that for you too. They have some very clever solutions on the CAPTCHA side in particular. They even have a dataset marketplace where you can just browse through a bunch of data they've already collected for a ton of popular domains. You might be surprised how many things you can get just out of this. And you can see a lot of companies are taking advantage of it, from McDonald's to Airtable. What company that I talk about is being used by both McDonald's and Airtable? Insane. The reason all these companies can rely on Bright Data is they scale insanely well. If you're worried about having enough servers spun up to do a big scrape job, don't. Just hit the Bright Data API. They got you covered. If you're tired of thinking about browser workarounds and infrastructure and you just want to get your data and get back to work, there is no better company to help you out with it. Check out Bright Data today at soidiv.link/brightdata. Software firm's director thought that their name, which used HTML, would be fun and playful. Love the generic screenshot of code that's like tab indented wrong for no reason. Love it. Companies House has forced a company to change its name after it belatedly realized it could pose a security risk. The company, now legally known as That Companies Whose Name Used to Contain HTML Script Tags Limited. I thought my naming with thing was good. Like, upload thing is great, but That Company Whose Name Used to Contain HTML Script Tags Limited is a better name for sure. Apparently, this was set up by a British software engineer who says he did it purely because he thought it would be a fun, playful name for his consulting business. He now says that he didn't know that Companies House was actually vulnerable to the extremely simple technique that he used, known as cross-site scripting, which allows an attacker to run code from one website on another. So the company name was, quote, close tag, open tag, script source equals, HTTPS, MJT, XSS, HT, limited. Which, if your website is doing this wrong... Yeah, God, only government code is bad enough to actually have a cross-site script hack as a result. Do we check the source? Fine, we'll go to it. Subdomain has been banned from the XSS Hunter service. It's been a passion project for many years. I offer the service free of charge because I enjoy seeing success people have had with it for bug bounties and other things. Apparently, it's gotten expensive to run. Interesting. So XSS HT is a service that they built to test if something can be cross-site scripted. If you can get the script tag in, it will throw an alert that says, hey, you've been hacked. People in chat are suggesting that this person's job's likely pen testing. I would be surprised if it wasn't. Makes a lot of sense. Honestly, like, sure, this name's obviously they're trying to like hack things, but at the same time, it is actually a funny name if that's what your company does. Let's keep reading. There's also a lot of other funny stories people are sending that are similar that we will absolutely be covering momentarily. But first, let's finish this. By beginning the name with a quote mark and a chevron, I've never heard somebody actually refer to a bracket as a chevron. That's throwing me more than it should. You can tell we're on a real news site, not a tech site. As I say, any site that failed to properly handle HTML code would have mistakenly thought the company's name was blank. Also, just want to confirm, Companies House is a government thing, right? Yeah, gov.uk. This is the government, or this is the UK government's website for tracking companies that exist, which is quite funny that a government site could be hacked with the name of a company. And since they're loading it wrong, as they say here, now it will load this script tag and do whatever it says in it. So if this was something actually malicious, they would have been fucked. The script would have simply put up a harmless alert, but it serves as proof that a malicious actor could instead have used the same weaknesses as a gateway to more damaging ends. Similar names have been registered in the past, such as Drop Table Companies Limited. That is absolutely, they even call the XKCD webcomic. It's clearly inspired by that. But this was the first such name to have prompted a response. Companies House has retroactively removed the original name from its data feeds, and all documentation referring to its original moniker now simply reads as company name available on request. Beautiful. Apparently, their front end is open sourced in the UK. Let's see if this has Companies House. It does not appear to. What is this written in? What the fuck is Nunjacks? Am I young? Nunjacks is the default for 11T, among other stuff. Good to know. I am young. Cool. I haven't felt young in a minute doing this stuff. Normally I just feel old, so that's cool. The director of the company, who asked not to be named, told The Guardian, Government Digital Services, GDS, have a good reputation for security, and other companies with similarly playful names have been registered in the past, so I thought there probably wouldn't be a problem. When I discovered that there were some minor problems, I contacted Companies House and the National Cybersecurity Center immediately. It didn't disclose the issue to anyone else. He did not realize it would be an issue, he said, because characters including the chevron, as they referred to it earlier, and quote marks, are explicitly allowed as company names, which suggests that the agency had put security measures in place to prevent such attacks. To be clear, the security measure is safely encoding arbitrary strings in your HTML. Fun fact, as much as people shit on React, it does this for you by default. React makes it incredibly difficult. You have to call a special function called dangerously set inner HTML if you want to be able to make these mistakes in React. A Companies House spokesperson said, a company was registered using characters that could have presented a security risk to a smaller number of our customers if published or unprotected external websites. We have taken immediate steps to mitigate this risk and have put measures in place to prevent a similar occurrence. We're confident that the Companies House service remains secure. I wish this wasn't common. I do. Sadly, this is somewhat common because here's a great example. Someone with the license plate null got an insane number of tickets because whenever a ticket was written to no license plate or an invalid license plate, it went to them. In 2016, this individual, Joseph, got a Vanity license plate. Since they're a security researcher, they tried to get seg faults or something like that, but then they got null. The idea was I get void for my wife's car, so our driveway would be null and void. That's hilarious. The joke had layers, as Totoro well knew, as he explained in a recent talk at DEF CON. I didn't know the guy with the null license plate went to spoke at DEF CON. That's hilarious. He got $12,000 of traffic fines wrongly sent to him. He's still not sure if he'll be able to renew his auto registration this year without paying someone else's tickets. And thanks to this insane loop he's in, it's not clear if the citations will ever stop coming. He was originally thinking it would get him out of tickets because the violation would quite literally not compute. But all the pranks weren't actually the initial focus. If anything, he was surprised the California DMV let him register null at all. In the first year as a null driver was uneventful. But when it came time to renew, the DMV no longer accepted null as an option. It broke the website. He also got in a ticket in early 2018 for not having the appropriate registration sticker on his license plate. Totoro suggests someone scraped it off to use on their own car. He thought about fighting it, but the fine was only $35, so he paid it. But then came the citations, and from places that he's never even been to. So that's how he knew it couldn't possibly be him. Apparently, he had gone on a statewide parking-related crime spree. By paying the $35 ticket, it appeared the database somewhere now associated null with his personal information, which means that anytime a traffic cop forgot to fill in the license plate number on a citation, the fine was automatically sent to him. Legendary. He got tickets from 2014 before he even had the license plate. He got the owed amount down to $6,200. How can they not just wipe it? This is absurdity. He has a whole talk on this. I'm not going to watch the whole thing. Now, at least. I am saving it for later. But it will be in the description if you want to give it a watch yourself. And this isn't even the only license plate one. Here's somebody trying to inject into speeding cameras. What's going on here? Drop database tabless? Shouldn't this be table? What's the ICE here? Oh, tabless translates to plates in Polish. Clever. We don't know if this ever actually worked. It's just a meme. Still funny. I love stuff like this. As long as I don't get a $12,000 fucking set of tickets that aren't mine, I do love stuff like this. Government devs are so lucky that these things get found so often by hobbyists for fun instead of by malicious actors. Because you could have used this exploit to do some nasty stuff, and it wasn't used for that, thankfully. But yeah, this still hurts. Please sanitize your inputs. That's all I ask. Until next time, peace, nerds.